Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome back to Sketch Day. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I was doing some prep for a meal later. Got a little bit behind. Hopefully you can hear me okay. If you can, let me know. Thanks for joining me today for our show. It's been a minute. I apologize. Been out of my groove for a little bit after finishing my 500-page sketch project. I'm all done. And this is the third time I've completed this challenge. So what this is about really is just kind of pushing myself. I'll switch over to my overhead here. Pushing myself to, hello Talos, hello Squintley. Sketch more, do more than you normally would do. So here it is. And I've already scanned in all of these. Sorry, it's a little bit cumbersome. Maybe this would be a better angle. Let's see. So yeah, look at all that. It's all sketches. Crazy, right? It feels good to like challenge yourself and just have all of this stuff. And it's hard, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I found myself, drawing the same stuff maybe too much. Let's zoom out so you can see a little better. Found myself drawing the same thing a couple times just because, it's hard to come up with new stuff every single time. So lots of practice in here. I'll be making this PDF available to patrons and channel members for free and available on my website for a small contribution. Hopefully you'll find some value in seeing some examples here of my own work. So I appreciate the support. We did it. Maybe I'll switch to the overhead so you can see a little bit better. We're just gonna hang out for a little bit today. I did some anatomy toward the end here. So I started doing some stuff. Well, it's kind of hard to see. It's so hard to manage this. But I did do a little bit of pen sketch anatomy on my own. I don't normally do this, but I thought it'd be fun. Fun to do some practice. Just all simple stuff from the imagination here and there. Just getting the hang of it. And, like anything, it just takes practice. Practice makes better. I thought we could sketch digitally today. You can ask questions while I work, no problem. I'm used to talking while I work. Thought I'd sketch digitally today, so I'm going to be using Photoshop and my Wacom tablet. Get some sketching done today. All right, we got a question here. Don't want to interrupt the flow of things. Got a question about trying to emulate somebody else's drawing style. Yeah, ask away. Such an achievement. Thank you. 250 1 year ago. I mean, it's all good. As long as you're practicing, I think you're in a good spot. So, all right, let's see. Let's hop over to my screen share. I got a setup here. It's a little bit different setup. Just so you can kind of see. I like to bring my tablet in. I'm not zoomed out enough for you to see, but tablet basically here, computer, keyboard down here for all the shortcuts, and we're set up. So I'm going to keep an eye on the chat. Feel free to ask me questions as they come. I'll try and answer. Alright, let me kill the lights here, but we'll see. Anyhow, just using some Photoshop today. Let's go ahead and make a new file. I don't have anything specific. Let's see. I'm going to be using my Photoshop brushes. Similar to the Procreate brushes if you haven't seen those. If you haven't, that's okay. Music is deafening. Oh, sorry. Okay. Is it deafening? It shouldn't be deafening. Oh, my bad. That's weird. Interesting. Hold on. Okay, apologies there. Apologies. I think I figured out what was happening. So thanks for letting me know. Interesting. So they just released an update for yeah, sorry about that. They just released an update for OBS that I use. I think that's the problem. So when I switched to the screen, it actually pulled in an audio source from the screen. So let me know if it's still too loud, okay? Thanks for letting me know that. If it's still too loud, then I need to adjust my audio routing, which I can do here. Yeah, it should be fine. This is all set to what it's normally set to. Okay, just let me know. I'm going to keep an eye on the chat. So, yeah, if there's a problem. Okay. Thanks for hanging out, by the way. Appreciate you staying. If you can't stay the whole time, that's all right. We can, or you can rather, rewatch the show. All right, just gonna get some warm-up strokes here. This is I think this is the canvas pencil. I'm also drawing at a weird angle. I really need like a little taller stool. But the idea here is just to kind of get your muscles flowing anyways. I'll do this all on the same page. Not because I'm trying to save paper or anything, but we'll just get warm here. I've had a few requests from people on my YouTube shorts and reels. Happy to take requests as we go here. I was thinking I could warm up with some primitives and then we can jump into like a hot rod, or we could even do some architecture, for example. Okay, sounds good now. Thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, they updated it so that when you add a source, like the Wacom screen, it actually pulled up. It actually pulled up the Wacom as an audio source, unfortunately, because it has like it has its own audio, like input, output, all that stuff. I'm using the 24-inch Wacom. There's another YouTube with a rough pencil you love. Nice. I'll have to check that out. I don't usually do this exercise in this orientation, so it's a little bit more challenging for me, but we're gonna roll with it. The idea is just to kind of practice opening up these ellipses as we go left to right. Not trying to get them precise so much as get that spread. I do have some good news though. Well, depends on if you liked my first book. Did you know I wrote a book? If you liked my first book, I am working on a follow-up officially. So I think I can announce that. I've signed another contract to write a follow-up. So that should be out sometime in the next few months. I'll just say that. Said, oh, actually, I think it's like early next year, but I'll be working on that. Got a few more announcements coming up as well. Hope to see you in person at a few events. I'll just say that. How do you learn from others' drawings? I think tracing is fine. Like if I'm gonna shrink myself here. If you see someone's style and you're like, hey, that's kind of cool, like you can trace it. I would just give credit where credit's due. So if you are inspired by someone's style, like I would suggest, pointing out that, hey, I'm copying this style or I'm copying that style. Like if people ask me who my inspirations were for like sketch style, I would say Feng Zhu or Zhu Feng. I don't know. Maybe it's Feng. I don't know how to pronounce. Carlu, also product designer. And then after, like, I started sketching more, I found Kim Jung-Yi. May he rest in peace. So crazy. That was a sudden one. Just like, whoa. So the goal of this exercise is just to kind of practice perspective before you jump into something else. So I've started doing these more often, honestly, just to keep myself sharp. But the idea is that these lines all converge at the same point, right? It's really hard to get them all consistent. I can tell these three are a little bit off, right? But the whole idea is to practice, so we'll just put this to the side. We'll do a couple more of these. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. I've always wanted to write a book, and seems like once you get the first one out, like, people start coming at you. So it's been kind of fun to have those opportunities. And of course, as you're doing this, you know, you want to play with proportion, field of view, how close those vanishing points are together. Are you doing 3-point perspective? And just so you can see, hopefully this shot looks okay. I don't know if it'll look okay. But even when I'm drawing here, like, I'll hover over the screen before I actually, you know, throw something down. Just kind of make sure I'm hitting the right spot. Maybe this one's a cut instead. And then when you're ready, you can kind of up your pressure and get that stroke better. What's up, Latrice? I know it's been a minute. Good to see you. I was telling everyone here I'm actually officially signed to write a follow-up. I don't know if I should call it a follow-up necessarily, but I am writing another book. So I'm excited for that. So like I was saying, I think I'm gonna draw some hot rods. We're just keeping it chill today. I'm not really in any major rush. Normally I've got other things to do, but just feeling chill today. Felt like hanging out, so here we are. A little trick for you in Photoshop: if you're using a brush and you want to switch it to erase mode while you're using it, just hold the tilde key on the keyboard, and it converts your active brush to an eraser while you have that key pressed down. So you can kind of work fast if you want to do, you know, paint and erase method. Have I ever used a pen tablet before? I'm not sure what you mean by pen tablet. That's what I'm using right now. I'm using a Wacom tablet. Is that what you mean? Or is a pen tablet something else? Maybe I'm confusing. I thought they were the same thing.
We must talk now. I have many reasons.
Quick sloppy shade there. All right, I'll do one more and then we'll jump into drawing some real stuff. So just kind of playing with, again, perspective, trying to make sure all these lines appear to converge to some common point. Have y'all seen any good movies lately? I've heard good things about Dungeons and Dragons. I haven't seen it yet, but I have heard good things. And then I saw, the last movie I saw was John Wick 4. But I'm like, or was, I don't know, super invested in the series. I had seen the first 3 anyways, so. But it was pretty good. If you like that sort of thing, it was pretty good. Where you don't draw on the display and you look at the screen. Yeah, that's actually what I learned on. So I don't need to look at the screen. Like I could use this tablet like a screenless drawing tablet if I really wanted to. It is harder, for sure. But you just have to get the hang of it. What's the best sketchbook to use with Copic markers? I like to use Canson. I'm just going to group these as my warm-up. I'll make this file available as well. I know I haven't updated the Google Drive in a bit, but I'll throw it up there. I like to use Canson paper. Well, when I say Canson paper, I mean Canson brand marker paper. So I can show you right here. So this is the stuff I like to use. This is stuff I like to use with markers. It's a little pricier than it used to be. You used to be able to find these for I think $8 or $9 per pad, but with inflation and all that, this is what we're dealing with. So those are the marker pads I like to use. All right, let's do some hot rods. Do some thumbnails and then maybe do another sketch. Practice makes better. Hello, Flat Morning. My layer is hidden. All right. I just felt like doing some hot rods, so that's what we're doing. Starting with kind of laying out where the wheels will go. How can you start practicing hard surface drawings? What I liked to do, or what I found helpful personally, was like sketching construction equipment helped a lot. Or taking a look at, I don't know if these are going to be classic or some sort of combination, by the way. We're just kind of freestyling. I just want to make that a little lighter. Hello, Vegeta. So I would practice drawing construction equipment, and then that way you're learning to sketch very technical things, you know? And if you can sketch those technical things and you kind of understand how things fit together, I think that's a pretty good start. Yeah, this is definitely not any sort of, this is like Scott Robertson style. He's got these like really interesting angles and stuff. Anyhow, I would recommend construction equipment, aircraft. Take a look at rivets, panels, how things tend to be, separated out. I think that's a good place to start. Winsor Newton has stepped up their quality. I just threw away my last Winsor Newton marker because they were crap back in the day. The thing I'm looking forward to, or hoping for rather, is Ohuhu markers to actually release their refill. I'm not being super careful with these ellipses, by the way. Have I tried to sketch food like chocolate? Yeah, I've done food. I like to do still life food. Like I'll go to the grocery store, get some fruit and veggies, and like sketch it up, That's pretty fun. That wheel feels weird, so I'm gonna move things here a little bit. One of the advantages of digital sketching, make some little tweaks. They're the worst. I don't like chart pack markers either. I mean, I'll use them for certain things, don't get me wrong. I'll use them for certain things, but just overall, I don't think they're the best markers. I feel like I'm taking too long with this thumbnail, so we're gonna pick up our pace a little bit. So I'm calling it a thumbnail, but I'm like taking so long to like sketch. I need to keep it rough and loose, and then we can do a final sketch when we're ready. I want this to have like a stupid engine block. Like just absolutely ridiculous. So a little pro tip for you here. It is easier to draw. It's easier to draw big than it is to draw small. So you can always zoom in on your sketch and add those details you want to add whenever you want to add them. I'm probably doing this all backwards, and I don't really care that much. Someone who is a mechanic is going to watch this and be like, that's incorrect. But I promise you, if it were a real drawing for a real project, I would look up some reference just to make sure. So right now I'm just putting down lines to hint at kind of this open engine compartment. That's right, nice and loose. Okay, that actually turned out pretty cool. So maybe I'll have a pipe come out somewhere here. Just quick black and white for now. Maybe I should bring back themed themed shows and challenges. It's just a lot of work. And I know for a fact I will be too busy in a few weeks to keep up with that. So I mean, maybe, I wonder if you could like make the roof kind of a foil. It's actually pretty cool. Oh, there's probably a reason why they don't do this, but we're just making our own stuff up, so we're gonna do it. But there's probably a reason. All right, and then the last trick is you shrink your thumbnail a little bit, and then we can duplicate this, flip it, maybe rotate and scale. I'm gonna drop the opacity, and then we can do like an overlay. Do I ever mess around with isometric? The only time I do isometric drawing is if I am doing like a technical illustration of some sort. Then I'll do something isometric. So yeah, just doing a little bit of an overlay. And the cool thing here is we can just kind of rely on whatever we had for perspective before. Then we could just make some changes. Like I know this is totally impractical, but I do want to, I just like that roof. Why did my music window pop up? It's so weird. Oh. So yeah, only if I'm doing like a technical illustration, something for like a patent or anything like that. That's when I do it. We can always drop the opacity here even more, so you can kind of see how I'm leveraging that first sketch. Like this wheel, I'm gonna tweak this wheel. Let's make it a little bit bigger. I don't know if I'll keep that guard on or not, but we'll leave it for now. Like this one we could make even more ridiculous. Like maybe the engine block, you know, it's this like monster over the car type thing. But yeah, most of the art, illustration, design work I do tends to be objects. That's why I'm always sketching objects, not people so much. And if I do a person, I'll do like a silhouette in the car or something at the most. I just love this, like, this line here. Do you ever make special effects while you draw? Sometimes I do. It's kind of fun. But yeah, I have way too many markers, that's for sure. Way too many markers. But they're so fun to buy too. Like you just see a new marker brand and you're like, I want to try that out. That'll be fun. All right, I'm just gonna do a placeholder spoked wheel here. So to do these, I just do like a kind of an A shape with a little bit of overlap. So notice the overlap is kind of coming in there. Just helps create that effect. And if I were being super careful, I want another ellipse behind this. Like if you're doing a final rendering or something, then you take the time to like sit there and figure this out, but quick sketch, I'm not gonna waste time doing all of it. So yeah, working on the book follow up. It's gonna be a bigger project than the last one, so I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm also super excited to kind of see what happens. Just want her to be like a big intake or something. I don't know if you'd actually need this, but I just want to put it in right there. Whoa, wrong key. We'll do one more and then I'll do kind of a final drawing for fun. Maybe use my stencil. If you don't know about the stencil, just check it out on my website, sketchaday.com. Keep putting these cuts in here, but I don't really need them. And yeah, I've changed my mind about this rare foil, or not foil, but spoiler. So what's new with y'all? What's happening? What's popping? What's cracking? Yeah, I gotta figure out what's happening there too. If I were gonna make this my final. One weird thing that happens with me when I sketch digitally, because it doesn't happen when I sketch on paper, my hand gets fatigued really easily. Do you think that a designer must try and sketch all possible even if they specialize in furniture? No, I don't think so. I think sketching is going to be less and less important as time goes by anyways. So, you know, as these tools get better, I mean, y'all can see what's happening with those AI tools, I'm sure. This wheel is like stupid. I'm sure you can see what's happening with those AI tools. Like there'll come a point where visual communication will become much more accessible. That can be a good thing. And we're just not going to need to have as much foundational skill. Now, will you be at a disadvantage if you have those foundational skills? Absolutely not. In fact, as it stands right now, AI is more of a tool for co-creation than creation itself. So using prompts, I've been playing with Adobe Firefly a little bit too. I was on their beta team for a bit. But yeah, they're all just really interesting tools that we're going to be able to work into how we design, how we create, how we illustrate. But they don't quite get us there yet, which is where I was going with this in the first place. That traditional skills will still come in handy for the time being. And a good example of this is if you take a look at any AI generated art, pay attention to the musculature of the humans it creates. Pay attention to fingers and hands. You'll know what I mean. You might be disturbed. There's a really funny article I saw too about how AI doesn't really know how humans eat spaghetti. So if you ask it to, at least Midjourney doesn't. So if you ask Midjourney to show you someone eating spaghetti, it like conjures up these really weird images. All right, one more. I'm gonna do this one freehand. I do have access to Midjourney myself, so I can play with it and whatnot. Oh, you got a YouTube notification? I don't know why, but a lot of people don't get notifications for my lives. It's really weird. Pardon the drinking sounds. I've just been on a grapefruit juice kick lately. It's so refreshing. Or maybe I'm getting old. But I do love me some grapefruit juice. All right, let's do another flat perspective here. When I say flat perspective, I mean perspective lines are pretty what's the word? Relaxed, not as dynamic. I don't know what the right word is. But with these, I like to start with the wheels. I mean, you could technically start with some sort of body. Like if you really wanted to. You could just start with like a silhouette. What we're trying to do. I feel like this needs to be lower though. Oh, 22 minutes late. That stinks. I used to be more diligent about doing these on a weekly basis. I just haven't lately. So hope you understand. Thanks for the support as always to those who have supported. All right, I do want to do some sort of spoiler thing. So I'm just going to put a placeholder there. It's like a similar shape, but we'll make some changes. Do some funky. I'm just playing with overall shape here first. Oh, thanks, Unfettered. I'm glad it's been helpful. Are you like in school right now or young professional? What are you doing? I'm not just saying this. Every now and then I'll get an email message or I'll get an Instagram message. By the way, Instagram is probably the best way to get a hold of me if you are like, I just want to say hi to Spencer. Just hit me up on Insta. Because usually I will answer. I don't really use Facebook messages, so to those who have been using or following me on Facebook over the years, yeah, not as much of a Facebook fan these days. Oh, first year. Nice. Just make sure you work hard, whatever you do. When I went to college, I took it seriously. For me, it was all or nothing, in the sense that, you know, I had a chance to learn as much as I could, work as hard as I could, and so that's what I did. I guess that should go without saying, but there's one thing I've learned in life. It is that we should maximize the chances we get. You only get to go to college, well, at least most people only get to go to college once, if they're lucky at all. It's kind of like the Land Rover fins there. Anyhow, take advantage of those opportunities you get. You know, work hard. Don't kill yourself, but work hard. By don't kill yourself, by the way, I mean don't overextend yourself. So, like, for me in college, I never did all-nighters. Never ever did one. The closest was, I think, staying up till 2 or 3. Something like that. But then again, I did not have a very vibrant college social life, which is okay. Just wasn't really my jam. So I just wanted to graduate, go work, you know. All right, let's do some funky, maybe heavy rimmed, futuristic looking rim cover there. Maybe this is a hybrid. Just kidding. It's kind of like a flywheel. Once you get them going, they just keep going. It'd be hard to stop in this vehicle with these heavy rims. You'd have to have really good brakes.
I don't know her.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but whenever I sketch digitally, I get a little... Sometimes my hand goes to sleep.
I don't know her.
But I don't get the same thing when I sketch on paper. So maybe it has to do with, you know, sitting and drawing somewhat upright or something. I don't know. Just rotating my canvas so I can get a better ellipse. Easier for me anyways to draw an ellipse this way.
I don't know her.
So Sketch A Day Live, thanks for joining. Good to see y'all. Thanks for hanging. If you got my book, thanks for the support. If you didn't get my book, what are you waiting for? Just kidding. It's all good. Everyone's situation's different. But like I mentioned, I'm writing a follow-up this year. So I'm excited for that to kick off more officially, as well as really get into the meat of it. It's gonna be fun. I feel lucky to have been able to write one already, and I get to do another. It's kind of sweet. Okay, I gotta up that speed. I was sketching a little faster earlier. When you're designing something, it's often helpful to like just kind of extend lines that are in your design and just kind of see where the overlap happens. right? Because there's an implied line here pointing to that point, for example. So it can kind of help you make sense of things as you are designing a concept or coming up with something. So don't be afraid to extend those lines and see what's up. Make sense of your composition. All right, I am kind of feeling this one, the last one that we did, but I'm gonna get let's do like a little audience poll here. So we can go with 1, 2, or 3. My plan is just to throw some gray, some color, kind of make things pop. So you can see it a little better, kind of make things pop, and make it a little tighter. So let me know, what would you like to see, 1, 2, or 3? One, 2, or 3. If nobody chooses, I may go with 3, because 3 is kind of clean. How much CAD have I done versus sketching? I actually teach a CAD class, so I've done enough to teach. And for my clients, it's not really economical for them to pay me to do CAD, because I get paid pretty well for design work. But I'll do the CAD sometimes if I need to help visualize something, but I wouldn't say it's the majority of what I do. Majority of what I do is strategic product development, as well as the ideation, manufacturing side of things. All right, we don't have any votes, so I'm just gonna go with number 3. Oh, we got 1 for number 2. All right, we can do number 2. You win since nobody else voted. All right, I'm gonna make a new file. Wrong size. I need to make this 17 by, let's go 17 by 19. Man, everyone's picking 2. That's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna rotate this slightly. Let's scale it up. So we're gonna do another overlay. Now, when I'm doing a final sketch, I'll take a little bit more time. I'll switch to the stencil as well. All right, take a little bit more care. Get our ellipses and so on. Unfortunately, in Photoshop, there is no templatizing your stroke like there is in, say, Procreate. So if you're used to that kind of thing, you won't really get that in Photoshop. Just something to think about and remember. I usually start with the wheels though. Just to make sure we're off to a good spot. Trying to decide if I want to do, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. We'll do 2 strokes. Try and clean this up later as well. Sketchaday Live, thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging on this chill Tuesday. Alright, I said I was going to be precise with this, but I'm already not being precise. See, this line would be where all of these would fall. And then we have our inner rim right there. Okay, I think I'm good now. Now, depending on what level you're taking this to, there are a couple ways you could do this instead of drawing like I am, like a maniac. You could make a 3D model of the rim and then throw that into your sketch. Or you could take a photo, kind of warp it to fit what you're trying to do. Like this one's out of place. So yeah, I always do the rims first. They take time. And even here I'm taking some shortcuts. Okay. But now when I zoom out, see how nice that looks? So much better. What is my favorite car? I don't really have a favorite car. So fun fact, I could have been a car designer. I had a job offer and everything. It's from GM back in the day. And I decided to go into product design. So I figured, I'm not really a gearhead, so to speak, like a lot of car designers tend to be. But I do enjoy drawing them. They are fun. They are fun to draw. I wonder if I can cheat here. Let's see if we can cheat. Okay, so I'd want this to be facing outward. Don't worry about the center of this just yet. I just want the spokes, because I don't want to redraw the spokes. I'm trying to see if I can visually make it work. Yeah, I think this will work, actually. No, we won't tell anyone. This will just be our secret. This will be our secret. Make some tweaks here. And the front of the car goes there, so we'll just do a little bit of work instead of doing the whole thing. I should mention as well, I was on Adobe Live a couple weeks back. I should have announced it, but that was a good time. Thanks to those who were there. I did kind of a product design boot camp. I don't even know how this linkage looks, so I'm just making stuff up right now. Okay. So again, if you're some mechanic, just leave me alone. We're just putting stuff in there. Pros and cons of going car versus product or product versus car. Well, car design takes a long time for your products to hit the market, and I'm very impatient. I mean, you can tell from my sketch style. I don't like to sit there and get everything perfect. So A card takes about 5 years to get to market from the time you start working on it. And, you know, if they cancel your project after working on it for 5 years, which happens, it's kind of heartbreaking, you know? It's a lot of work. It's like a lot of work. So yeah, thanks for joining me on this beautiful Tuesday. Sketch a little. I might just finish the sketch and then do like a follow-up where we render it. How about that? We can break it up into two shows, you know. Do like sketch and then render. That way you're not sitting here for like 3 hours watching me do something. We can get this first part done. Now, I do want to point out I am drawing with my shoulder as well. So you want to try and do that. There's a little mistake there, but we're going to ignore it because no one's going to notice. I picked up a new hobby. Well, 2 new hobbies. Some of you probably don't even know this, but candle making. So I make candles for fun. And then I just got into another fun hobby. Sushi making. That one's pretty fun. I mean, it's fun because it's tasty too. All right, so again, working zoomed in, right? That kind of allows me to get a better degree of precision on things, so that when I do zoom out, see, it looks all nice and tight. So the main con, oh, hey, Robert, the main con was, you know, time to market for the product. I'm just too impatient for it. But I love sketching them. Still fun. Okay, we're gonna draw through a little bit just to make sure we get our continuity here. I'll erase. And now finish this out. Life is funny. When you get to a certain age and you look back and you're like, man, it could have been this way or it could have been that way, depending on the choices we make. It's a trip being able to think back and look back. It's a trip. All right, I'm trying to find a nice line here, so I'm gonna do this a couple times. Actually, I like that. It's kind of aggressive. Nice little boop, and then hard turn there. So let's work with that. Yeah, I kind of like that with the squared off back. Kind of digging that. And then we can have a line, maybe a line from this corner here, or slightly flare out, slightly. I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about it just yet. But I've enjoyed product design quite a bit. Now I just work for myself, which is awesome. Still teaching, I still make products. I have 5 3D printers that I use for a little small business that I have. I'm about to get another 3D printer, number 6. It's the Bamboo Labs X1 Carbon. I don't know if you've seen that printer, but it's pretty sweet. A lot of auto work looks like stylization more than functionality. It's a combination of both, but I will agree with you that historically the automotive industry has focused on style sometimes over substance. But I don't think they're mutually exclusive, you know? Like, just because something's stylish doesn't mean it can't be functional or won't be. I know you're not saying that, I just want to point that out. Sorry, I keep pulling up my spotlight when I use a certain keyboard shortcut. Would I say my car design is more functional? No, I wouldn't say that. I am just having fun and being ridiculous. Like, that's all this is. Because this is impractical. Absolutely impractical. And I'm just making stuff up too. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. I need to get back to making some more music too. Or at least exporting the stuff I've done. See, I'm just making this up at this point. Got a little shape in there. Take a little time to hold your head out. So now when I zoom out, that's what it looks like. All right, so you can zoom in, work on little details, zoom out, check it. If you need to flip your sketch, whatever, you can turn off the underlay. Oops, turn off the underlay. You'll kind of see where this is going. So I think next time we'll do the color. There'll be lots of chrome. Right. Just gonna make these valves slightly open here. So yeah, next time we'll add some color, maybe some texture. Who knows, maybe put it in a landscape or something. But again, when you kind of understand how things are made, then you can add to your sketch where you want, or compositionally, right? We have this line that's moving through the vehicle here. Well, let's line it up so we have that functional opening got our door cut here. So maybe this is where, you know, you'd want to put a hinge or something. So to answer that question earlier, you know, am I thinking about function? Yeah. But also compositionally trying to line things up. Let's see that. So see how this line, right, travels. And if we want to make it continuous, we could just fillet this around it so that imaginary line would come through here and like meet up. So now you have like this design element that's core to the overall shape. Or in the case of this door, we could even have a little raised surface that then tapers in. So function, yes. Aesthetics, yes. And I think both are important. I'm trying to save up for a new camera too. I've been working on a little video project. It's a personal project. I am recording the stories of my mama. She's 81. And she's had some health struggles here and there. So I'm just trying to make sure we collect her stories before, you know, anything happens. All right, we're pretty close. We just got to get the back wheel. Maybe add a little bit of line weight. And then next time we meet, I'm hoping Friday. I will admit, sometimes I do push back because I'm either exhausted or I'm just not in a good place to stream. I've had a lot of things going on here and there in the background. So I hope you understand, but yeah, right after this, I'll make the slot for the show. We'll call it Hot Rod Part 2. And you can come back. Kind of see how I go through my coloring process. Oh, you started doing voice recordings. Yeah, I recorded her in 4K. It wasn't the best framing, I'll admit, because it was kind of rushed and I just want to get it done. But yeah, Robert, we're probably close in age. I just turned 40. So she's getting up there. And all of us kids, you know, love her a lot. We just want to make sure our kids get to know those stories too. And there's things she told me I had no idea about. Like absolutely no idea. I was like, whoa, you never told me that. She's funny though. Should we add a spoiler to this one? Or no? I'll just rough it in. I don't think it needs a spoiler. Yeah, I'm a late child. My dad is 82. He'll be 83 this year. No, wait. No, he is 83. He'll be 84. He'll be 84. I asked her. Man, I was crying. I was crying most of the interview, I will admit. I'll just keep it real with y'all. I was crying. Because one, she's getting up there, but two, just hearing about how amazing of a life she had. Like, she was one of the first computer operators. Maybe I'll make a song called Computer Operator. She was one of the first computer operators in Jamaica, where I grew up. And so she was telling me about these like room-sized computers, like the size of a whole room or a small apartment, and how she was saying each function required a different set of instructions, and they would have to like program these punch cards to input onto the computer. So she was born in 1941. That's when she was born. (1941). The world is a very different place. Thank you. I appreciate the well wishes. I am not gonna be okay when that day comes. I'll just say that. She's very, very, very special to me. My mama. Once again, here's a look at my setup. Kind of. I've got my tablet here, and keyboard is like right here, so I can do all my keyboard commands. I wish I could zoom out a little bit more, but I can't. Let's see. Will this one show it? Kind of. So here's the tablet. Here's the keyboard down here as I'm working. And that's kind of what it looks like. Yeah, I'll share those stories once I'm done. And, you know, she's a very private person, too. So I'll have to make sure she's cool with me sharing anything before I share it. But yeah, life's just interesting, you know. You get to a certain spot, a certain age, certain phase, and it's like, how do I say this? It's like you feel like you maybe have a handle on life, but then you don't really. Okay, I want this rim to feel, or this tire rather, to feel round. So I'm just doing some cross-section lines. Let's do right about there. I'm gonna take this line here. Do some Photoshop. Little bit of chop. If you don't know about the warp tool, you should. Comes in handy. All right, the top here is a little bit weird, so let's fix this. I feel like I have to bring my A game because Robert's here. If you don't follow Robert, go follow him. Robert Laszlo Kiss. He streams a lot more than I do. But give him a follow. Super cool dude. Been following him for a few years now. All right, I feel like this rim might be a colossal mess, so I'm just gonna call this a placeholder for now and see how I feel about it later. Or maybe trace it over. Not trace, redraw. Redraw it a bit later. But we'll leave it there for now. Yeah, like I feel like this rim needs to be more open too. So I just made a copy of that rim. And then we're gonna take the one below it. We're gonna take the one below it here. And I'm gonna do, what is happening? Okay. Let's do layer via cut. Let's hide that. Yeah, that feels better. Yeah, go follow Robert. He's amazing. I've snuck into a couple of your lives and watched. Don't worry. I see what you're up to. I mean, the reason I do this is, well, one, it's fun, but two, I remember what it was like being a student and not really interacting with professionals, not really knowing which way to go or what to do. So I'm happy to answer questions and, you know, just kind of be a touch point for a lot of people if they're interested in product design or illustration or whatever. So yeah, this is where I said, like, I'll do a silhouette at most. I don't even know if there's a back seat, but we'll just throw that in. So, throw in a little line here for our C pillar. On the inside. Alright, just a couple silhouette lines like that. So that's the most I'll usually do if I'm doing something like this. I'm just gonna sketch in a little bit of a shadow here. Alright, so next time when I'm back, again, hopefully Friday, we will focus on color, some materials, and go about finishing this. Maybe a little bit more Photoshop even, where we take some rims and throw in there. But I'll kind of show you how I do that and what my process is, and we'll come out on the other side, hopefully with a somewhat clean rendering. And just so I don't forget, I'm going to make a note to tweak this. Tweak wheel. Alright. To remind myself, let's see. I want to add some detail there. Maybe do treads. And I think that should be good. That should be good. Just making some notes for myself so I don't forget next time we do this. Hey, Mergacia. Hello, hello. Isn't it funny how most tutorials don't talk about inclined planes and sloped ground? Yeah, that's something I noticed too. But I'll do a quick perspective tutorial for you on that very topic. So I think one of the easiest ways to understand inclined planes, I'm going to need a bigger file for this, and I'm using a little trick here where you shift and click onto a point because I just want to show you what happens with an inclined plane. So in this case I am assuming the ground plane is flat, like this is my horizon. Okay, we've got VP1, VP2, and possibly VP3 if we're doing 3-point perspective. Okay, so if I do this all of a sudden, Now I've got a third vanishing point. All right, so there's our box, right? Now, if I want to draw one of these faces at an angle, it's pretty easy. Let's switch to red on a new layer. So if I want to draw one of these at an angle, okay, maybe about there, all I have to do is connect these two points from the bottom here all the way up. But something interesting is going to happen here. Okay, something very interesting. In fact, I think I'm not going to angle from the bottom because I don't want to have to make the file too big. But let's say we want to create an angled face on the side here. So I can just pick 2 points and then we can go like so and go like so. All right. And that gets you an angled face. Well, where are these lines going? Where are those lines going? Turns out that they're actually going to a point that's going to be above the vanishing point. So if I take, whoa, sorry. If I take, I'm going to use a different brush here, like this hard round brush. So if I take this point and I project all the way, I'm on a new layer. I got to make sure I'm on a new layer. All right. So if I go up like so, above the vanishing point, what you'll notice, and I'm going to have to transform this line because it's really hard for me to do this. I mean, not that hard. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So notice this line, okay, intersects at a point over the vanishing point. If I go from this point down to here, it should line up. All right, so that's called an auxiliary vanishing point. Auxiliary vanishing point. Okay, so that's why I made the canvas really big. But if you create that relationship on your object, you're actually figuring out how to do angled surfaces. Okay, so if I wanted to do an angled plane right now, if my box here is resting on a table, okay, this is the edge of the table, right? Maybe something like that. Here's my table's edge. Okay. Now if I want to do this table at an angle, and we're kind of running out of space, but all I'd have to do is pick a point here, pick a point there, right? That would be slightly rotated. And then back up. Okay. So, whoa. Yes, I like to push myself to draw by hand if possible. This one got a little bit messy, but point is, you can do angled planes fairly easily in perspective if you just really think through what's happening. So this back edge, you know, if this is some sort of pivot or axis here, then this point would actually be up like so as we rotate this plane. You end up with something like that. Okay, so you can figure this stuff out. It's not impossible. You just have to think through it. So, all right. So let's go back to our hot rod here. Just want to point out this is what we completed today. Next time, I'll be Friday. I'm gonna go make lunch right now. But next time we are going to color the sketch. So I'll add some color. We'll add some texture, highlights, all of that stuff, and do like a rendering. So how would I explain a plane that is cutting one of the corners of the box? Ooh, that's a good question. In that case, you're going to be dealing with multiple vanishing points in the same perspective. So you don't have to, because everything is orthogonal, we have the one vanishing point. But all of a sudden, if you have a plane, right? If you're looking at a plane in this direction, okay, these lines are going to go up, up, and and there'll be some vanishing point over here. Okay, because that cut that you're talking about, that triangle cut, it's gonna look like that. Well, it's really just a section of a plane that's intersecting our cube. So wherever this plane would go is where you'd find that vanishing point. You could work the opposite direction and say, based on the angle, whatever, I'm gonna pick a point here and then draw your plane and figure out the cuts. But it's a lot easier just to draw that perimeter cut like so. But that's the way I think of it. Okay, that's the way I think of it. So there's some plane. In this case, this would be almost 1 point perspective, but it's really 2 point perspective. There'd be another vanishing point all the way, way out. Okay, so you can't have multiple vanishing points in the same drawing. All right, so I'll be back Friday. Thanks for hanging with me. As always, much love. And if you haven't yet, check out my book, The Perspective Drawing Guide. It is available on Amazon. Hey, Chris, what's up? Or you can check out sketchaday.com/book. This is also a link to the stuff I use. So if you're curious about materials and whatnot, great way to support if you're going to pick up any materials. Those are all Amazon links. So appreciate the love. All right. Take care, y'all. Your answer, most of the time, you have to feel for it. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's why in my book, I know I keep hyping my book. You got to pick it up. So in this book, I talk about the importance of observational drawing, because when you look at real life, then you're able to connect the dots in a way that doesn't quite work when you think about these things in a purely abstract sense. So you have to do observational drawing, or at the very least, pay attention to your surroundings and things will make sense. So I'll be back Friday. We'll finish up our drawing here. At that point, I'll show you one more time. This is what we worked on today. So if you'd like to catch the other half of that, stay tuned for a little announcement. We'll be back. Worst case, I will say, worst case, if Friday doesn't work, Saturday, Sunday, but we're going to get it done this weekend. In any case, thanks for your support. Thanks for love. Thanks for being here. If you can do me a favor, if you like the stream, even if you don't like it, just drop a comment. Say what you think. Ask some questions. If you got requests, it's all good. I'll get back to making a few shorts here and posting those as well. And until next time, I'll see you right here on Sketchaday. Sketchaday? Sketchaday. All right, take care, everyone.